Hi, it's Gila Nehemia, Sacred Erotic Self-Love Poet, Mentor, Mystic, and Author, your spiritual heart guide. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, for those of you who are tuned in or listening to the replay, I'm very excited to be here. Today is January 28th. It is the full moon, the full wolf moon in Leo. So a very exciting time for all of us. And this will be about 15-20 minutes. If those of you who know me or those of you who don't know me, I'll just give you a little background of who I am. I guide women who have experienced chronic trauma, such as, domestic violence, sexual abuse, child abuse, bullying, that kind of thing, chronically, so it's systemic in our cells. I guide them to totally heal their hearts and to live from that heart space into their true erotic bliss. And I'm very excited today. I do mentoring as well as writing programs, and I have a new course, Art of the Words of Seduction. So I'll tell you more about that later. I'm very excited today to come on because I am going to be talking about Osho and his influence on me and sacred sexuality and the divine. I write sacred erotic poetry, and I've been doing a poetry series. This is, I think, the third or fourth one in the series, and I'm so excited to be here. Before I start, to tell you what we're going to do today is I'm going to say a prayer before we begin. And if you have any questions, please write them in. I should see them. I'm in StreamYard, so I should see them. I might switch to just check in Facebook, but YouTube, I should see all the comments. And I'm going to say a prayer, then I'm going to read a few words from Osho and tell you a little bit about my experience of, connecting with people who follow Osho and its influence on me. I read my poetry, and then I have a prayer for the full moon, as well as some cards that I pulled. So that's going to kind of, and then I have something special at the end. So please stay till the very end because I have some special announcements. So without further ado, if you'd like to set an intention with me, pray on my crystals. I have rose quartz here. I have quartz. And today is actually the day that you put your crystals out because it is a full moon, so for them to recharge. I am wearing lapis, and yeah, I have more in my room. So if you'd like to pray and set an intention with me, I would love that. So I'm going to be closing my eyes with my hands on my crystals, and if you want to close your eyes as well, to connect into your heart space and to really just feel into what needs to be released now as we call in our guides, our angels, God, Source, Universe, to assist us in releasing even further what needs to be let go from our physical bodies, from our mental and emotional experiences, to just allow it to effortlessly let go of our consciousness so we can truly step into our higher selves, our divine beings. Moving into our heart space. You want to take a couple of deep breaths with me. And whenever you're ready to open your eyes. Thank you, those of you who have joined or listening on the replay. Thank you so much. So before I read something from Osho, I wanted to just tell you a little bit about how I encountered his words. It actually, I was just thinking about it today. I live in Israel. I'm originally from New York. I grew up in New York. My parents are from South India, but I grew up in New York City, and I was born there. And I came to Israel almost 7 years ago. And I went to, I was, was doing a lot of healing. I was, really stepping into my heart space and transforming in so many different ways. And I was looking for more healing, and I found there's something called the Desert Ashram in Israel, and they had a heart workshop over the weekend. And I wasn't familiar with it, but I've heard of the ashram. I checked it out. I talked to somebody, and I went, and it was actually Osho's teaching in the 3-day workshop over a weekend. And it was very intense. We did dynamic meditation, and it was all about the heart, really stepping into the heart. It was in English, and it was just like, it was really very nurturing. And I started to just fall into the teachings, and really just understand the words. The words activated me. His words, I feel, really make sense to me. And I know that he's controversial. A lot of people, because of a lot of things that have happened and what he did. To be honest, I stay away from judgment, and I just really, listen to what is being said or heard, depending on if it's music or art, or what it is that I am supposed to get from something. And because if I judge, then that means that I'm still judging myself. So I really stay away from any kind of judgment. So however you feel about Osho, that is your feeling. But this is just about my own experience. And I'm not a follower of Osho. I really just, I admire his wisdom. And that's what really connected me to some of his teachings. And he's written extensively. So I experienced this workshop. I connected with some people. I've read some of his teachings, but I don't follow anyone per se. What I do follow is my heart. So today I'm going to read something that was written by him. He actually has. I'm going to show it to you. So if you're interested, you can find it. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, I think I can just share screen. See if you can see it. I'm going to go to this screen. Not sure if you can. Yeah, you can see it. So I am reading from, it's an Osho library on the internet, and it's free. And this particular one is The Very Body. It's from the book The Very Body, the Buddha. And this is, he talks about Sigmund Freud and tantra. So Sigmund Freud, ego, and tantra. So I'm going to just read this passage. It's not that long. I'll read that, and I'll talk a little bit about it, and then I'll read my poem. The world needs to be more natural. Then there will be less anxiety, less fear, less worry. But for a generation, there would be a great explosion after that. Things would settle. We have to take that risk. Only that risk can save humanity. Otherwise, everybody is going mad. The Tantra attitude about sex is that sex is not a need. It is a cosmic experience. It is an experience of meditation. It's an instinctual return to our ultimate reality, one of the highest forms of meditation. In 15 minutes to an hour or more of uninterrupted coitus. Tantra seeks a complete loss of the ego. Just see the difference. Freud says it is a gratification for the ego, and that's what it has become. Freud is not wrong. If you see the modern man, he is right. People go on making love to prove that they are male or females, or what charming people they are, beautiful people they are. People go on finding new women, new men, just to prove that I am still attractive. My observation is people that they don't fall in love. Their joy is not love. Their joy is conquest. Once they have achieved a woman, they are no longer interested in her. It is not love. Now they are seeking new pastures. Now they want a new woman. Now they want to prove again that they are still young, looked at. They have still charisma, magnetism. The more women they can make love with, the more the ego is satisfied. That is not love, and Freud is right that sex gives ego gratification. But look at Tantra. So I hope you're staying with me here. We can talk about what he just said in a moment, but this is where I really connect to this part of it. But look at Tantra. Tantra has a totally different idea. Tantra says the appeal of sex is that it gives you a moment of egolessness, timelessness, meditation. Because of ego gratification, sex has become very, very superficial. It only scratches the skin. It does not go deep, it has no depth. So many people are worried about premature ejaculation. The reason, they don't love. If they love, then naturally they can make love for longer periods. The more you are in love, the longer the period will be. For hours you can be in love, but there is no hurry. The ego is not controlling. You can remain for hours in tantric coitus. It is kind of melting with the woman or with the man. It is kind of relaxation into each other's being. And it is meditated because there is no ego. No thought stirs and time stops. This is a glimpse of God. Tantra is a natural way to God, the normal way to God. The object is to be so completely instinctual, so mindless that we merge with ultimate nature, that the woman disappears and becomes a door for the ultimate, the man disappears and becomes a door for the ultimate. This is the tantric definition of our sexuality, the return to absolute innocence, absolute oneness. The greatest sexual thrill of all is not a search for thrills, but a silent waiting, utterly relaxed, utterly mindless. One is conscious, conscious only of being conscious. One is consciousness. One is contented, but there is no content to it, and there is great beauty, great benediction. I hope you heard that. I will put a link here if after I'm done for those of you who'd like to read it yourself. But I really love the fact, when he said, just reading those words totally connected to me, because I actually never studied Tantra. But when I was not only with my partner, but also alone, I can totally feel at one with the divine. It's almost like it's timelessness, especially when I'm with my partner, but it's just like this timelessness, this meditative, this connection to God. Like I spoke in the last one. If you listen to my previous one, if you haven't, go and listen to that on YouTube. It was talking about Napoleon Hill, who talked about sex, love, and romance and how it connects into the infinite oneness. It's the same thing. They're talking about the same thing. So I'm focusing on the Tantra part. The Tantra part is so important to me. And this is about my journey, so how he has affected me. And his words to me are absolute truth. And it's also Rumi. Rumi talks about connecting to God. Osho talks about in other things, the loss of ego, even here. He talks about the loss of ego. There isn't, when we're thinking about time, when we are when we are with somebody, how long is it going to take? You're in your mind. And the whole thing about it, it's you become, when you're connected to your heart with another, you can go into spiritual heights that are unfathomable. You connect into the godliness of you. You can see that there is so much more to life. And that's what happened to me. And that's why his words really connected to me, because I was experiencing it. And I was like, oh my goodness, wow, this makes sense. And he even talks about in other things, Tantra is not a study. People take it as a mental study. It's not a mental study. It's a study. It's like a connection to your heart. It's an opening to the heart, which is what Rumi says too. So, it just is all coming together, right? When you think about it, when you just desire something more from your life, more from your relationships, maybe this is what you're desiring. I don't know. But for me, this is what I was desiring. And this was what was happening to me. So I was like, whoa, I didn't have to study anything. It's just a natural, like he says, it just comes naturally. And that's exactly what it is. It was just natural evolving. It was my own sense of evolving into another dimension, evolving into my higher self. So it really spoke to me. And you know, a lot of his work really does speak to me. And to be honest, I wanted to try to go to his ashram in Pune when I was in India with my kids, and I called them and they wouldn't let us in because I have children. And so, you know, that's what I mean. Like his words really speak to me, but some of the practices don't, you know, like I, you know, hit a lot of the people that would follow him were people who were single that didn't have families, you know, and I'm not sure how he felt about that, but that's not for me to say, you know, for me, his words speak to me, and that, you know, that's where it might end. But that is, you know, it's profound to me. I think his teachings are profound, and he definitely reaches a depth that really, really talks deep into my soul and my heart. So that's why I like reading his words, because they're true. And I believe that, you know, if people resonate with his words, they can have that experience. And that's what I truly believe, because when we are desiring for more from our life, when we desire a deep, deep love, it is a connection to all that is. It's a connection into the oneness, because there is no separation between you and I. Between, you know, we all want love, and we all are love. And the more that we step into love, you know, especially when we have a deep connection to another, it opens the doors. Like he says, it opened the doors. And there are no doors. There were never any doors. But we perceive them as doors because that was our lens. And when we completely let go of the ego, then everything's open. We are vulnerable beings, like almost like babies. You know, he talks about the innocence. And it's like we go back into our inner child who just knows, you know, who just senses, who just is happiness, joy. You know, we just are, because we're so connected. In another piece, he was talking about the body as being sacred, you know, so all of those things really speak to me. And I won't go on and on, but those are just some of the things that did. I'm actually already at 15 minutes. So I will just share my poem. If anyone of you have anything to say, you know, I really would love to hear what you have to say. I'll read my poem. It's called Love Cats. Purring in my deep, sexy voice, he beckons me gently forward. I take a salsa step back. He comes a tango closer. No words are spoken. Touch, music, feelings, and nature are all we need. Minutes and hours pass, but it feels like only seconds. We part and it feels like a dream. The wholehearted soul connection is within us. I awaken to his soft lips and his finger in my mouth. I hold him close, my hand slowly, lively, feeling his hard, masculine body. My hands hold his lingam and I begin to massage it, fondling it lovingly. It is part of him that physically penetrates my core. It is divine. My yoni is aroused and wet as I rapturously caress it with my hands. As his desire rises, so does mine. When he releases, my juices squirt out, uncoiling the dead skin of many eons that must be shed, healed, my ego collapsing, no longer required, revealing my subconscious and soul emerging. Dormant, silent leaders now have a voice that commands to be heard. So, and that really does connect to what I had just read that he wrote. And this was written, you know, I hadn't actually found this, but I'm sure, you know, his words definitely influenced me. But it was still my experience. And so you know, I really just, I hope that you like that. And if that resonates with you, I'd love for you to check out my website. It's gilanehemia.com. I have more poetry there. And if the poetry was something that really spoke to you, I am publishing my poetry in a little over a month in a book. So I'll be sharing that very soon with you, and I'm really excited about that. It's been taking up a lot of my time, and I'm just very excited to self-publish and to to send this book out that I've been working on these poems for over 3 years. So I'm excited to share that with you. And also, if this is really resonating with you, I'd love for you to check out my course. It's called The Words of Seduction, and it's an electronic course that you could connect to. It's a DIY course and do it yourself. And so it's all there. It's a self-study, and it's great. I've had some great reviews, and I'm just really I'm really happy that that turned out, and I'm going to be doing more this year. So I've been trained as a teacher. I was working as a teacher for a long time. So this is great for me to meld my both my kind of previous life and this life together. So I wanted to share before we go. I wanted to share a prayer, and then I'm gonna share some cards that I pulled from this deck. It's called the 13 Moons Oracle cards, because this is a full moon. So I decided I would pull some cards for you guys. So this is a prayer that came to me. And before I do this, I thought we could breathe 3 times together if you'd like to, and we'll say Om. Thank you so much, Gail, with you and the passion. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, passion is definitely the right word. So let's breathe 3 times together. Take 3 deep breaths at your own pace, and then we'll say Om, and I'll be leading 3 times. So go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. And I'll start with Om. So because it's the the wolf moon, they're howling. So I was reading, when we say Om, it's like we're howling, we're like that, that Om sound just connects into the universal sound. So I would welcome you, sorry, my words today, maybe catching on someone who's around this space in terms of speaking. So, if your throat is feeling like you want more to find your voice like this, this may be the moon to release that. So this is a prayer. Grandmother Moon, show us a path of least resistance. Take us to the place where the tides surge and your light sings, shining radiantly, timeless, breathless, in complete unison with all that is. So that is my prayer for all of you. Today is a great time to release, to write down what you want to release, to burn it, to take, to just let it go, and also what you are wanting to birth. What is your intention? These are the cards that I pulled. One is Connect, Sacred Tool of the Loom. I hope you could see that well. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful spider web. And this says on the bottom, expansion, larger view, vision, present moment, groundedness. Yeah, so I think you could see that. So I love that card. And this is, I love the fact, and the other one is Transcend, and there's one more. And you see the purple. I really like that the purple's coming out, and kind of these pinkish magenta. So this one is Transcend, frequency of violet. Yeah, of course, I was just talking about that. Compassion, forgiveness, clear awareness, sensitize. I love that as well. I'm just kind of bringing it to the camera so you could see it a little bit better. And it's a beautiful, beautiful card. I actually don't choose a lot of cards. I usually just sometimes do it on the full and new moon. And this is an interesting one because I talked about sovereignty. I've been talking about sovereignty, and here we got sovereignty. So I love that. I wasn't going to pick three, but I said, okay, let me pick three, and this one came out. So this is sovereignty, frequency of emerald green, again, the heart chakra, self-nurturance, sanctuary, renewal, peace, balance, sustenance, and abundance. So timely that we come into this amazing, amazing card. I love how the light comes into this green, and so many colors are, it's almost like so many colors are shining through. So such amazing, amazing messages, and very, very, what's the word, open and expansive. I wanted to share very exciting news. Many of my programs are on my website, but I'm just connecting to a lot of men recently, and I'm opening up a very intimate men's group. And so if you're feeling called, connect with me. It's by invitation only. So if this is something that you're desiring, it's going to meet on Sundays at 7 o'clock Israel time. It's going to start on February 7th, so very, very soon. And again, it's going to be a very small group for empathic, if you're empathic, sensitive, really connecting to your emotions, wanting to connect deeper. It's about deeper heart connection and connection to your emotions, because I feel like both men and women are looking for balance. And I have a women's group, and I'm creating a men's group, because I'm feeling that I am the divine feminine. I've been studying the divine feminine ways for many years now, and I want to share my wisdom with men. A lot of men come to me and talk about a lot of different things, so I'm feeling called. I've been feeling called for years now, but this seems, the divine is showing me that this is what I'm guided to do at the moment. So if this is resonating with you and you would like to join that group, send me an email. It is gnehemia. This is the fastest one, gnehemia@gmail.com. I would be happy to connect with you, or send me a messenger. Talk to me on Messenger if you're interested. This is a paid group. This is a service. So I can give you the details, and we can just hop on a quick call. It's something I'm dedicated. This is my mission, to help people to really connect to their heart space. I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about people living from their heart space, because then we, like Osho said, we connect into the oneness. We connect to another. If there's a partner we're looking for, I'm all about relationships and love. If there's a partner, we are going to find them when we connect to our own heart space. And tantra is something that can, we can talk about tantra in another time. But I think that when we can connect to our heart space and really let go of the ego, release all of the pain and healing, and this is, sorry, I didn't mention, this is going to be a 3-month program, 12 weeks. I can again give you all the details, but I want to connect with you because I am handpicking the people in the group. Again, it's going to be about 8 to 10 people. So I'm just announcing this because if anyone's interested, I just want to know. And if I have a large interest, I will open more than one group. But I want to begin with one and see how it goes. So let me know. I'm very, very dedicated. Those of you who go to my website, you can read all the testimonials. I give every client 1,000%. And what I ask is for you to give 100%. The more that we'll meet every week in Zoom for 1 hour. We'll do some breakout rooms, and we will we will connect. And I have again all the details that are not in front of me at the moment, but I could send them to you. So I'm very, very excited about this, totally just divine, and I'm just feeling so blessed. And I'm feeling like this full moon, we are asked to release even deeper. And I know that many of you have been doing a lot of healing. So I honor you for everything that you've been doing. This is a very pivotal full moon. This is the first full moon of 2021. Leo is fiery and also patient. So, and, and also Osho talked about that, it's like the patience, the time. Take your time. Take your time. Everything happens in divine timing. So there's nothing to rush. If you're worried about timing, there's still fear there. So allow yourself, give yourself compassion. Like it said in one of the cards, compassion, compassion. And to transcend, you need compassion for yourself. And anyone else who who you want more in your life. It's about allowing. And when you allow and receive, which is a way of the divine feminine, then it's just about sitting still and being. When we just are and we accept ourselves for who we are, then there's nothing that isn't here. Everything is here. Every moment is a meditative moment. Every moment we are connected. If that is so thank you so much for watching. Namaste, Shanti, Shalom. Happy full moon. So happy for each and every one of you watching and on the here or on the replay. I'm so grateful for you. And again, if this is the offer for the men's group is connecting to you or someone you know, definitely send me an email or connect with me on Messenger. I'm more than happy to answer any questions and send you all the details. Thank you so much. Namaste, Shanti, Shalom.